Hello, people. We are back. A2TP podcast, episode 170. We are back in the building. Platforms you can catch us on is Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, Podcast Index, Podchaser, Google Podcasts, Player FM. It's your boy, International Walk.
It's your girl, Tosh, the co-hostess with the mostest.
And we are back. Let's get right to the show. How are you?
I'm okay.
Just okay?
I'm good, but I'm okay. I'm tired. Nothing wrong,
Shiny.
Specifically. I'm glowing.
Okay.
Not shiny.
I take
glowing.
that.
Yeah, I'm shining.
Glow, girl. Glow.
That's that love, peace, and happiness coming through. Thank you, Jesus. Mentally, I'm a 9. Just because, I got a lot of work things going on, and I had a very busy day, a good day, a great day, and I'm starting to see a lot of the fruits of my labor. Like, I get emails from people that I've interacted with maybe a couple weeks ago, and it's like our interaction wasn't in vain because it's coming to fruition. Like, they are planning things, coordinating things, engaging my team, so that's all well and good, but it's just a lot going on and I'm really busy. Then we heard some like not so good news about the city, which we'll get into. That makes me a little sad, but overall I'm a 9. Cool. Financially a 9. God is good
all the time.
And all the time.
God is good.
Yes. Work is a 9. All good things. Just, again, a lot going on. Corporations really, and I understand you can't, I feel like we are a team, like I have 4 team members, and I probably need 6. And 6 would be good. 5 I would just be happy with, but 6 would be good. But companies just don't operate like that. It's almost like companies always operate in a small deficit of people because of like that fear of having too many people. So we would rather have a little bit too little and overwork people a little bit rather than having a little bit of excess.
That's
like
crazy.
Yeah, it is. I don't know why America works like that. Yeah. Like
so they keep
trades,
people stressed and in fluorescent light. That's what
I don't even think it's so much to keep people stressed, it's to keep the bottom line. Because, how dare we take a chance of somebody having some free time and their day not being all the way booked up. And I'm not saying all my days are all the way booked up in no way, shape, or form. But, I would, it's just
spend a few $100,000 on some salaries to if you're up to speed with mental health. And
but if you see
like
the
that.
Productivity of it, then you get the bang for your buck.
Mm-hmm.
But, it is what it is. I'm not in charge in that capacity. And mentally, I'm a 9.
You said that already.
I mean, physically. Oh, I'm sorry. So I was a 9. Physically, I'm a 10. I really feel good. I feel great. I didn't get a chance to work out like I wanted to today. But I feel great. I feel great. I've been working out really good. I want to get into the habit of, he's going to fuss when I say this, so I'm just going to shut the window right here, and I'm just going to tell y'all. But sometimes I want to get into the habit, and not every day, because I don't have the capacity every day, but sometimes I want to do 2-a-days. I want to work out in the morning, and then like a light workout, and then work out in the afternoon, like our big workout that we do together. I just have to find the drive and determination to get up early. It's all on me, and I'm not a get up early person, but I want to do it. But I every night I tell myself, I have this whole plan in my head to like, okay, get up early, even if it's like a YouTube half-hour video or something like that. I don't want to go outside walking because on our neighborhood Facebook page, and I'm digressing a little bit, but they talk about a lot of stray dogs in the neighborhood. I used to go outside walking and I never encountered any, but now I'm afraid. But I just want to do 2-a-days sometimes. So, all right. But yeah, that's how I feel.
But yeah,
I want to though.
I know it's cool to want things. I want things too, but like I said, I want to work out in the morning and not do the hardest thing.
Well, that's almost impossible
though. At the end of the day, but that's just my life. That's just my setup.
But see, that's the thing. That ain't my life. I could do it
because you care about sleep more than anything.
Not more than you.
More than sex.
No.
Bullshit.
Maybe sometimes,
Okay,
but
not
not
to say bullshit.
not all the time.
No,
Babe,
not-
you care about sleep more than sex sometimes. I kissed your
I do.
nipple last night, and you was like, you jumped like, oh no.
I did.
Like,
I
I
did.
gotta go to bed. I gotta go to bed.
I
What's she
did.
doing?
I did.
You jumped hard,
I
like,
did.
no.
I did. I was like, no, she didn't. She didn't. I just got a little doze in too. Like,
Yeah,
no, she
he was
didn't.
laying there, and I gave a little, nope. You ain't even say nothing. You
wasn't.
just.
Nah, you
No,
know.
you didn't say
It wouldn't
no.
have been no nope. I just would have been like, Jesus Christ.
I know you would have gave in, but you clearly let it be known, like, what you doing?
I'd have been like, Jesus, try to regret it that 3:45 in the morning.
And I don't be one. That's the thing. I don't be. And we do a great job in balancing, but sometimes I do realize, damn, I kind of miss that window of making sure you get good sleep and making sure I get put to sleep.
Mm-hmm.
But we make do. How are you?
I'm good. Mentally, I feel like a 9. Just want to leave room for some growth, for some improvement. Finances, a 9. Same thing, leaving some room for some growth. Work is a solid 9. Things are happening. Had a bad day yesterday and a better day today. So, things are going up.
You didn't tell me you had a bad day.
Yeah, it wasn't that great.
Okay.
Yeah, it wasn't that great. Today was better though.
Good.
It always be the days I gotta get shit off my chest that I don't feel good, but then the next day I feel excellent. Like I feel great. Physically, I feel good. I worked out today. Was at the gym by myself. My baby couldn't make it. I missed her. But yeah, I worked out today in my freshly new minted tights, like men's spandex. It felt good too. Felt real airy.
Not spandex, just men tights.
Men tights, but yeah, it felt real airy. I wanted to go in there with just tights and no shorts, but because I seen T.O. do it before, but I don't think I'm there yet as far as my body and stuff like that. But when I am there, I'm gonna get a one piece.
You could do a little shorter short though.
Yeah, I'm gonna do a one piece. I gotta get me some shorts that go over that, like some basketball shorts, but not like the big ones I got in the house.
Yeah, that's what
huge.
a shorter short. I think it'll be more comfortable.
So that's where I'm at. Wows and woes, ups and downs, stops and goes, blacks and whites.
My wow,
Loose and tights.
just making another week. Nothing spectacular happened. Oh no, I'm sorry. Let me say, I was God, I feel like is always opening doors for me, and sometimes it's through other people. So shout out to my girl Crystal. And I've said this before, having friends that speak your name in rooms where you're not in is so important. And she has on a couple occasions kind of spoke my name into spaces where she feels that I'm valuable. So I had a chance to join this amazing mentoring group called Black Girls Love that she's part of, and just to kind of meet the young ladies. They meet once a month. They have kind of a gap in their mentors, so she thought it was something that I would be interested in. So this was just kind of like a meet and greet to kind of they'll meet me, I meet them. Mm-hmm. It was kind of informal because we were engaged in an activity. It was a great dance workout class, but the energy was great. And I feel like I have a good sense of people. There were a couple girls who I could tell were a little shy or insecure, and I kind of was like being their hype man. One girl, everybody was dancing and putting their hands up and stuff, so I kind of grabbed her hand and she was smiling because I think she kind of felt she didn't have a good 2-step rhythm like everybody else, but she was doing her thing. So I think and some of the girls seem to have a closer relationship than others, but I just love being in that space especially our young women. The world can be so hard on girls and boys too, but it's a different space for boys. So I just love being in that space. So just a shout out to my girl. I really appreciate the opportunities that she's presented for me. So that was my wow.
That's cool. I'm glad that she does that too, and I see like how happy it makes you. And not that it's not anything that I didn't know, because like I just know, like, especially how you treat our kids. Like, you love young girls and like to mentor them, to talk to them, and plus like you can see shit in them that most people aren't as attuned as you, because of stuff that you went through and just how much you care about it. So another girl might not see something that you would, or you know, like you will pull somebody to the side and say something because you know, had a feeling or something. And I just think that's cool that you're into, like, I wish that, not like that was my calling, because I think mentorship is in my future, but it's just a you got to be like into it, like feet first.
Yeah.
And I don't want to get a bad kid.
You know what I think for me, it's the authenticity that I think helps me, and also allows me to make that connection. And that any young people that I talk to, I tell them being you is the easiest thing. That makes
everybody else is taking up,
and that makes doing anything that much easier, because you got other things to worry about. But being who you are, you don't have to worry about that. You just be you, be who you are. Of course, there's a certain level of decorum that you have to have depending on the space that you're in, but I don't have to worry about putting on a facade. You know, we broke that, you know, what they call code switching in corporate America, where we don't have to put on our voices anymore when we're in spaces to sound like other cultures. Like, nah, this is me. And I talk to my team the way, you know, I don't curse or use profanity, but nah, like I'm just myself. So I appreciate being able to be myself. There was one girl, I heard her talking about, she wanted to be a doctor, but she was like, she also wanted to be a real estate agent. And I'm like, girl, you can do both. Like, ain't nothing wrong with that. Yeah. And she was saying she didn't know what kind of doctor. She thought a pediatrician. I said, you'll try them all.
That's one thing about real estate is you can make a living off of real estate, but you also can be a hobby.
Yeah, you can make it a side hustle.
You can be a doctor and have a real estate license and be showing houses on the weekend. Yeah. After your 90-hour week or whatever, if that's what you want to do. And
not only that, I don't think people realize too, depending on the climate that you're in with real estate, I saw somebody had posted something a couple years ago, which, no shade, it was great, but it was like they sold $4 million in real estate that year. But when you break it down, and we know from buying and selling our houses previously, real estate agents get 6%. Mm-hmm. So when you break that down,
you get anywhere from 3 to 9.
Oh, right. So I'm averaging
so it's a
6.
Range, yeah.
So right. So 6 be in the middle. If you get 6%, now of course sometimes you get more, sometimes you can get less. So selling $4 million in real estate doesn't equate to, what's that? You figure 1% is what, 4.
But 40? is it $4 million in real estate, like 25 different deals, or one house?
No, it was throughout the year.
Okay, so 25 different deals, multiple deals,
or however many deals it was. But when you figure, you talking about $4 million times, and again, I'm just ballparking 6%. Oh shoot, never mind. 4 million.
Don't worry about it. We get it.
Times 6%. So 240,000 ain't nothing to sneeze at. It ain't bad, but not everybody. So if you sold $1 million in real estate, you talking about a quarter of that, $80,000. Still not bad, but I think sometimes when people, social media and reality TV, you see these shows like Selling Sunset, where they're selling one house by itself is lowballed at $4 million. So it kind of sets a different tone. But again, the conversation was just like, girl, you can do it all. Don't limit yourself. And if you change your mind, okay, that's okay too. So that was my wow. I was really excited about that. And the crazy thing, I had, when she told me about a year ago about her joining, I was like, oh wow, that sounds really cool. And at that time, she didn't extend the invite because they had their people. It wasn't no opportunity. And for me, I took that as now, like a year later, I wasn't ready yet. God had to prepare me for that role. And I think the more that I speak about, like you said, my life experiences, good, bad, and different, then that allows me to open. Because you remember before I told you one of my fears about speaking to young girls is being able to handle if they told me something negative, something bad that maybe have happened to them. Mm-hmm. And I think I'm in a better mental space to be able to guide them, direct them, or just handle that information.
I think it goes hand in hand. I think the more comfortable you are speaking about your story, the more comfortable you'll be with hearing somebody else's.
Yeah.
That's like how I think that works. And I don't get into it but it's just a simultaneous thing.
Yeah. So that was my wow. My woe, again, we'll get into it. Just hearing about the continual violence in the city that we're from, it's just heartbreaking to, hear stuff. As we get older, I feel like things affect me. You said this a couple years ago. Things affect me like deeper when it makes me sad when you hear so much sadness and violence, and it's just crazy. But we'll talk about it later. How about you? Wows and woes?
Wows is just making it another week. Giving praise to God that I'm breathing here, sitting here, talking to the people, talking to you. My woe is to piggyback on what we just recently learned is the shooting at the Muslim ceremony, the Eid, and this was at 46 in Wyalusing, and just like the news just broke, so it's not like we got a lot of information, but a couple people were shot or whatever, but it used to be a thing back in the day where certain things was off limits.
Sacred.
Yeah, it was sacred, whether certain cities had a Sunday morning truce, or you just saw somebody with their kids. It was like no matter how much of an enemy they was, you didn't go after them. You saw somebody with their mom, you didn't go after them. Like you kind of knew, like, okay, we live in the same neighborhood, I'll see you later. But nowadays, it just seems like through the drill rap, the Chicago street culture that has invaded every major city in America, that when people say it's up, it's stuck. And when I see you with your grandma, you with your mom, you with your kids, you with your family, I don't give a shit if it's church day, I don't give a shit if it's your birthday, barbecue, a cookout, a block party. When I see you, my guns is coming out at you. And that to me is just crazy, because in that way of thinking, there's like so many casualties that can be had. Kids, like just anybody like that has nothing to do with what you beefing about, but you can shoot somebody and kill them and not get the person that you want. Or just fuck up a whole religious event, or fuck up a whole a barbecue, a gathering. And it's just like, it gets to the point now where like it's simple, but I always said this. I know why this kind of shit happens. And it's because people don't give a fuck. It's just as simple as that. You put 1,000 people in a room that's violent, at the end of the day, all they're going to say is, I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. And that's why something has to happen where people start to give a fuck again. Yeah. Because now, this is my first time ever hearing about the Eid, but I know like the Islamic people have a ton of religious stuff that they have, the families out, like they're giving back to the neighborhoods, the kids, and all that kind of stuff. But this is the first time I'm ever hearing of a Muslim event being shot up like this.
Yeah, it's one of them things where you think about certain things, like you said, there's some sort of sanctity where people just say, okay, that's off limits. As kids, we grew up, everybody would go to the zoo for Easter, or the carnivals for Easter. And it was like one of them things, it's Easter Sunday. Like, you don't bother nobody. Like, nothing go down. Everybody want to be fresh and fly with their outfits, their sneakers, the girls with their hair done.
Not to cut you off, but this is just a thought that popped into my head. When I was in the streets carrying guns every day, I forget the year it was, but I remember the day being Easter Sunday and me being outside at like 1:30 in the afternoon with a gun on me. And I remember that as one of my moments. Like, I had moments in my life that was like, damn, like why are you doing this? That was a moment for me that you have a gun on you on Easter Sunday. And it was like, I just wanted to, I didn't want to,
Yeah. But that was the thing, like, you didn't hear about, people wanted to be fly and fresh with their new sneaks on, their sweatsuits on, girls wanted their hair done, the kids, the family. And Easter is a religious holiday. It's about the resurrection of Jesus, but it turned into something different, and people still respected that day as what it was. You didn't bother anybody. Now, with the Eid, with Muslims, that it's their one holiday that they celebrate after Ramadan, and whatever you believe or not, like, y'all know where we stand in our Christian faith, but it's still a matter of respect for this group of people, where, again, it's the same. They get dressed up. I've seen some beautiful pictures today of some women looking spectacular in their overgarments, like really looking gorgeous. I know of some women who took like a social, well, I know of one girl took like a social media hiatus during Ramadan, and you know, she posted her pictures today. This the in the Ramadan, it's the Eid, her family look gorgeous. It is one of them things. Again, the pageantry, they want to look beautiful. They want to have on their nice overgarments. Families get together. They have the big picnic and, you know, things like that. And it was one of them things. It has always been, to my knowledge, a sort of sanctity around it where violence didn't happen.
Is this like a thing that just started, or is this like a 20-year or like a thing that
this
happened
is forever?
Okay.
I don't want to say forever. I don't know how big. I think the celebration has been growing in Philadelphia, but the event, the holiday itself, has always been staple in the Muslim religion.
I'm talking about the event is what I'm talking
I think
about,
it's grown bigger over years, but I'm gonna say
like,
definitely.
has this always been a thing at 46 and Wyalusing?
I'm going to say at least the last 10, 15 years
okay.
that I'm aware of. I believe so, yeah.
Okay.
That isn't anything new. And that's not the only, they have like different celebrations, I think. It's been at other, like some.
And it's in front of a masjid? It's at a masjid?
Yeah, and I think they have other celebrations in other places, but I think that's probably the biggest one.
Okay.
I think in the past, before, they may have been in like Lemon Hill, out North Philly or whatever. Yeah, so I mean, I think they have celebrations in different areas, but I think that has been the biggest one. And it's, to me, it just resonates the lack of respect that these children have. Because you think about them shooting up the school bus, bus stops.
SEPTA buses.
SEPTA buses where strangers are getting shot. It's like there is no respect. Like when it's up, it's stuck. But at what point do you say, nah, right now? Like I remember growing up, it was a thing where, like, you know, you with your girlfriends and you on the bus or whatever, you cursing and, you know, but if it was adults, those of us who had sense would be like, girl, stop talking like that. You see that lady right there? Mm-hmm. Like you kind of checked yourself and checked your friends. It was a level of respect that doesn't exist anymore, and it's heartbreaking.
Somebody will be behind you talking about dicks and pussies, and my homie was fucking this girl, and it's like, you got a kid right here, and it's like they don't care.
And if
they
you
don't
say,
give a
can
shit.
You stop talking like that, my kid right there, now you got to worry about, are they gonna punch you, or you gonna have to fight? And it made me think, like, damn, why you would think as an adult responsible individual, like, I don't want to bring no gun to this religious ceremony. But at the same time, as an adult or responsible individual, you know, anything bound to happen, I got to be able to protect my family because I don't know what these idiots are going to do.
They got guns. That's the only thing that's going to combat a bullet is another bullet. You can't bring a knife. You can't have your hands.
It's
you just out of the fight. So.
And there's no way to like have security screening because it's a public park. Yeah. It's not like you have to walk through an entrance.
And that would be the only way to make you, like, after this year, it would be the only way to go back there and feel comfortable. Like, I got my gun on me in case something happened. I could protect my family.
It would have to
not just be running and falling over people or falling on the ground or have to like take cover on the ground because the bullets is flying.
It would have to be like an indoor ceremony at like the convention center or something where you have to go through security. But then that makes me think, like, we went to the boxing match and outside of the Barclays Center, people shooting on the street. So it's almost like, okay, people who want to shoot, they're going to find a way because you have it indoors where there's security. If you got people waiting outside, it's still going to go down. It's just a sad state of the world, of the city, when you just think like there is no sense of security. This makes me think, and I know we were going to talk about Dawn Staley, right? Mm-hmm. Celebrating her win, her championship for the NCAA women's.
Shout out to Dawn Staley.
Yeah.
A sister that come from North Philadelphia, down Diamond Street projects,
right.
Raymond Rosen projects, yeah.
But I seen somebody post something, and usually sometimes I see stuff and I just keep scrolling because I don't be feeling like engaging back forth. But this wasn't a stranger. I know this person. But they were saying, oh, now everybody proud to be from North Philly. Everybody repping the hood. But any other time, people scared to come to North Philly. So I responded. I said, two things can be true. I'm proud to be from North Philly because I know the struggles and where I am today. Like, that makes me proud to say I grew from that.
Stress to your life.
No, I wasn't stressed at all about it.
It adds a little. TV means a little un poquito.
No, I wasn't. Me getting it off my chest and saying what I gotta say, that relieves all stress because I said what I had to say and that was it. But I said two things can be true. I'm proud to be from North Philly and proud of those who come from where I'm from and have successful lives. But at the same time, I don't want to go there because I know what can go down because I'm from there. Mm-hmm. Like, it doesn't mean just because you rep or you let people know this where I'm from or you're proud to be there, just because you don't want to live there anymore or you don't want to hang out in the hood doesn't make you any less proud of where you're from. And people kind of, it's like they wear that as a badge of honor, like I'm still in the hood. Why?
But for some people, I disagree. For some people, it does make them a little less proud. And I kind of understand both aspects because you can love a neighborhood, but see what these young kids is doing to it and not feel like, and kind of feel ashamed that you're from there. And not like in a sense of, I wish I wasn't, but just damn, from what it was and how I grew up and I played outside and it wasn't, I might have known of 2 shootings in 15 years of being a kid down there in the neighborhood that we grew up in. But it's like now that shit could be twice a week. And it's like, damn, that shit is shameful because it's like people dying, people getting shot, old people getting, stuck in the houses. They can't come out, sit on their steps. They can't sweep their steps or do what they do. And it's just a shame. It's a fucking shame how these young kids, how it come from like even our parents and how they used to gang war, my uncles and them, and then us, we used to be in the street and drugs. But again, it was a code. It was a decorum in the street. Like you didn't fuck with people with their mom. You didn't shoot at people with their kids. Nowadays, you hear 2-year-olds getting shot. Why? Because we was after his dad.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like we hear a woman getting shot. Why? Because we was after her boyfriend. Like the shit is crazy. Like the nigga you want still out here. He still did what he did. You still want him.
Y'all
and you killed his fucking
shooters.
girl. Like that shit don't make sense at all. It just don't make sense at all. The world is turning upside down. And to add to that, we recently in New Jersey had a meteor. I don't know if y'all heard about that out in the world, but a meteor, like a big ass glowing green rock flying from space, hit the goddamn ground. Don't know where, somewhere in Jersey. We just recently had an eclipse that, I know it happened in 2017, but this was more like a big one, like a total eclipse, like everything lined up.
Well, we only saw partial.
Yeah, and online, I mean, you could see Dave Chappelle had something at his house in Ohio, and they had like a real blackout and then sun again. Well, and the clouds was going and all that shit.
So you were
Upstate New York had some places, like I seen online, like a lot of places had like the real Texas, Kansas.
Right. The path, if you were in the path of it, they showed in northern Pennsylvania.
Upstate Pennsylvania had some
northwestern Pennsylvania, they showed like in real time how it went from the sun out to the sun not out to the sun back out, and it was pretty cool. I mean, seeing people travel for it and go, like a girl I graduated high school with, her and her family, they traveled to Vermont to see it, and this was their second one that they traveled to see, and they had shirts made and all this stuff. But
I say all that to say, like, what's happening to the people that nobody gives a shit? We having meteors, we had an eclipse, we just had an earthquake, and there's aliens. Like, what? The government has said, okay, after all these years of Area 51, that we do acknowledge there is an Area 51, and we did get some aircraft back in the day. So we know that there's aliens. But what is going on with the Earth and the planet? That, like, what's next?
Jesus is coming back. I mean, we don't know.
I don't want to play with that. Like,
I'm not playing.
I know, but we're not. So you think like we're gonna wake up on Thursday and Jesus come back? Like, what's that look like?
That's the end of the world. And I'm not saying Thursday. It could be 17 Thursdays from now.
No, but what I'm saying is what's next
Thursdays.
As far as like now. Like this shit is happening now. So that's what I'm saying. I don't want to play like that to think like I'm looking like what's going to be what are we going to be talking about next week that happened that's a natural disaster or some significant shit that's overwhelming across the world. And now if we wake up Friday and Jesus is back and the world is over, We're not potting this following week, so it's like.
Well, see, when you talk about stuff that causes stress, I think that's the type of stuff people thinking what's next, because nobody knew it was going to be an earthquake.
Hell no, especially on the East Coast. I told you that's the trade-off. Living in the Northeast is the trade-off from earthquakes to, and then you have a winter.
Yeah, we knew the eclipse was coming. That was known. Okay,
Yeah.
Nobody knew we were going to have an earthquake. Nobody knew a meteor would hit, the earth. So it's those things where we don't know what's next. We have no idea. It's weird. I had a dream last.
You want to skip over the aliens?
I mean, but is that anything new? But my thing is that this conversation keeps resurfacing. I really feel like the government
Do you believe there's aliens?
Yes.
Okay.
I feel like the government chooses to release that information to draw everybody's attention as a distraction from somewhere else. Because if y'all not going to give us the full scope and all details of it, stop letting out these tidbits. I feel like it's just creating chatter to distract everybody's attention from something bigger. So because them admitting that it is, what is that going to do?
What do you think that looks like when, we come into contact with shit like that? Like a human really coming into contact with aliens, where it's like the government can't keep it a secret no more.
So, okay, let me ask you this.
And I'm not talking about like an invasion, but just they're here.
Let me ask you this. What about all of the people? And
they're smarter than us.
I've never really given it much thought or much attention. I admittedly so. But there are people who have been reporting alien contact for years. Like, they've talked about it. They weren't killed. Some people were taken and then released. So
Some people was never the same either.
Exactly. So it's one of them things we don't know, and we won't know until or unless it happens.
I think we do know now because the government said.
No, I'm saying we don't know what it would be like
an
encounter with them. I don't believe, just because the government said yes, again, I don't 100%. I believe the people. I would believe the people that said they had encounters before the government. The government, they can't be trusted.
Everybody did for 50 years, everybody described the same looking UFO, the same, like everybody, if you see a rendering of it, it looks the same, like a flying saucer or whatever, but just the fact that their technology is light years away, it's like where we're trying to go with AI, artificial intelligence, and they already been there. So I just wonder what that encounter would be like, because like they have stuff that we don't have, is what I'm saying. Like, they operate off interfaces and
but this is all conjecture. Who really knows how they operate?
Well, supposedly in Area 51 there's a spaceship, and if you back engineer the spaceship, you can. So what I'm saying about back engineer, like take it apart. If you can see like how it was put together and how advanced it is.
But who did that?
Like, if you go, so the story is, if you go into the spaceship, you walk in there's no seams. So there's no part where panels are put, hold on, let me finish. No part where panels are put together. There's no controls. So whoever is flying this thing, it's an interface, like a piece of, an element of some sort in the middle that they sit down and interface with, and that's what flies this thing. Also, it flies on a propulsion system that we don't have, that's not in our military. So that's just
Where's
the story.
Where's this information coming from?
I guess the government, babe. Or some scientists and people who study this shit. I don't know. I'm just internet stuff.
I just feel like they're not going to give us some information, and anybody who has access or privy to those details isn't going to talk about it, because they'll end up like the, Bill Clinton employees. Like, they're not going to talk about it. So that's why I feel like it's not that I believe that they're there. I don't put much thought into it, because until we have tangible...
It's really one of them things you can't control, so it's like, I'm not worried about that.
Yeah, and it's like, y'all never going to tell us the 100% full truth, give us full access to see, feel, touch, to fully comprehend and understand. You just want to always have this ongoing conversation about it, but keep the secrets and release tidbits about it.
I think it would scare the shit out of most people. I think it would be pandemonium if people really knew that you can come in contact with aliens, especially if it was a chance that they would hurt you or do something bad.
Yeah, I mean,
I think it would
possible.
scare the country. I think it would scare the world. So I think that's what the dribbles and drabs is.
So I had a dream this morning where we were in Jamaica and we were like standing on the beach, and this guy, he was like saying, it's just where we're having this conversation, because he was saying, damn, like we done really messed up now, like the world don't really, and this was like a vision of Jamaica we had never been to, and he's pointing out, he's like, I can't believe it. Do you see that? And I'm like, what's going on? What are we looking at? And you were like, there's icebergs in the ocean in Jamaica. And I saw it, and the guy's like, just imagine, like we're in a tropical region and there's icebergs here. Like the world done really messed up now. And it was just weird. Like in my mind, I'm thinking, wow, it's too warm for icebergs to be here. But if that's happening, anything can happen in this world. Mm-hmm. So it kind of connects where it's like, we don't know what is going to happen.
And we're not
next
conspiracy theorists. It's just stuff that you hear about, and you know we live in this world too. And this is not something that is something we're bringing upon everybody. Like this is shit that has happened. Like we had a meteor, we had an eclipse, we had earthquake, and it's aliens.
Well, I don't think the eclipse should be included because that happens. That's nothing supernatural. That I don't think that should be included. Okay. I mean, maybe the timing of it. You know how they say the moon, the gravitational forces control.
That's where it ties in at. Like, what is happening to the world, or what is the Earth lining up with the sun and the moon having to do with the energy
people going crazy
in the world?
Okay, I can. Okay. I can see that. I can see how that's related. But the event in of itself isn't supernatural. The events that may happen as a result of it, you know, then you can kind of consider what effect is it having on the people in the world.
A lot more crazy shit we're hearing in the world. Band-Aids causing cancer. Like, what's up with that? Like, since we was little tykes, we've been going to the box getting a Band-Aid. You get a cut, you get a Band-Aid. You at school, you get a cut, the teacher give you a Band-Aid. You at home, go up to the medicine cabinet, get a Band-Aid. Go on my dresser drawer, get a Band-Aid. Who knew we was getting little dribs and drabs of fucking tumors?
Yeah, the crazy thing about it is they're created by Johnson & Johnson. Like, how many Johnson & Johnson products have been traced
and what's
now
the other
to cancer? You have
Curad. Is that the other brand?
Yeah,
that's Johnson & Johnson too, though, right?
I don't know.
Or Procter & Gamble.
I don't know. But Johnson & Johnson, you got the Johnson & Johnson baby powder that was lit. It's like, how many times I think Johnson & Johnson...
The fucking vaccine was...
Like, how many times...
Talked down about, punched down on.
Are they going to be linked to something negative and still be alive? Now, I know nothing is 100 proof. Like, there's always some room for, I don't even want to say error. Like, there's that percentage of things possibly going wrong with anything that's created. But why are they always, their name is so often, I don't want to say always, but so often attached to these things? Right. Is it because they're just the biggest manufacturer, so there's a bigger chance of them being included?
Yeah, I think it's just one of those things where it's like you're such a huge conglomerate, almost like a pharmaceutical company, like a person, like a company that makes drugs and shit. Like, if you look at their bottom line at the end of the year, they may have made $90 billion but paid $30 billion in fines for shit that they did or shit that got caught that they were trying to cut corners on. And it's just like a part of the operating.
Yeah.
So, I mean, yeah, like Johnson, it's crazy like how there's 8 billion people in the world. You can't tell me everybody on this planet ain't had a Band-Aid on.
Yeah. But you know what's crazy? With the baby powder, you know what chemical was in baby powder that caused cancer?
What?
Asbestos.
I could see that.
But how did they get away with that?
I could see that.
How did they get away with that? Asbestos was what was the ingredient that, and then so you hear all these suits about, you know, about being exposed to asbestos, and then all of these suits about being exposed to baby powder. No one ever connected the two.
It's crazy. It's sad. Let's talk about I don't know how to segue into this, but cutting people off, family, friends. I know you wanted to speak to this in some way, shape, or form. But,
yeah, that was a very bad segue.
Well, you know.
Well, we could have skipped it, but You know, it was
You don't
just,
have to talk about it. You can just say, I don't want to talk about it.
no, it was just one of them things, you know.
And you didn't point out the 3 good segues I had. It's always the bad segue. Like, you know, everything can't be segged. I'm sorry.
It was just one of them things that I was, there was a title or a caption. I think it was on from Oprah, or a story that she was doing. I don't even know where Oprah still does stuff anymore, but she does these interviews. Like, I mean, because there's no Oprah Winfrey show, but
She still come on her own, right?
yeah, but like, what's the show?
I think it's just Oprah Winfrey.
Is who?
Oprah Winfrey.
You ain't say, you said Oprah.
Okay.
But it was talking about
I talk like I ain't got no teeth or something.
it was talking about like the mother-daughter relationship, and I'm not necessarily focusing on that, but it was talking about why the pain of a mother-daughter relationship when things aren't well. But people were commenting and talking about how you know, they had to cut relationships, or they had to, I'll say this, they had to implement boundaries, which may have resulted in them ending relationships with their mother or with a toxic parent. And it was just one of them things, and some people were asking or implying like they could never, or it would be so hard. But it's one of them things that it's not easy to do when you have to implement boundaries with anybody that you love. A parent, a friend, a sibling, any family member. It's one of them things that can be difficult, but it's so necessary when there's when you have to think about yourself, when there's some toxicity in the relationship where you just feel like this isn't good for my mental health, and it could not be good for your physical health also, because if your mental health is impacted, then that can result in stress and other things, which now your physical health is impacted. So how do you, and I say this, but in the back of my mind, I know how, because you, I don't want to say it's been easy for you at all, but how do you approach those situations where you have to cut ties with someone?
I had to learn it. I mean, don't get me wrong. I used to indulge in the drama. I used to put myself in situations that got my feelings hurt, or got somebody feelings hurt that I loved, or, you know, so for me, it was a learned behavior. And once it was learned, you just got to have the discipline of your own peace. Like, you got to learn a little bit about yourself and understand what it takes for you to operate every day, and the things that get into your head and hurt your heart. And once you realize that, then you can put your boundaries up and say, okay, these are the lines that if crossed, then there's an action behind that. So everything is fine as long as these lines aren't crossed. But the second you jump over this line, even one time, I mean, for some people it's once, for some people it may be twice, you know, I mean, depending on the relationship. But yeah, you come over these lines, there's an action involved in that. There's not just like, you come close to the line, we can talk and have words. You know, you out of pocket a little bit. But if you come across the line, then there's an action involved in that. And the action might be, I'll remove myself, depending on the relationship. I can't hit you, we ain't gonna fight or nothing like that, but I'll remove myself from you having access to me. And that's how you keep your peace. I wonder if that's just a human thing, because like we was always told, like when we was younger, family is everything. But we also was told family will be the ones that take advantage of you the most because they know you the most. So is that just a human thing? Because you grow up and you have friends that may be great friends that understand that dynamic that you think on and don't take advantage of you. You may be lucky enough to find a spouse that loves you and I love you, and I won't take advantage of you and you won't take advantage of me, no matter how vulnerable you know it can get. But is that just a human thing because these people are the closest to you, that they know your triggers, they know all the shit about you, and they know how to set you off?
I don't think it's human. I mean,
Because it can be family, or again, if you're lucky enough to find a spouse, because some husbands take advantage of their wives, some wives take advantage of their husbands, some friends take advantage of friends. It doesn't always have to be a family thing. So is it? That's what I'm asking. Is it a human thing? Just when people know you so good, they can hit them buttons.
But I think it's
or
a
think
trait.
that they can cross those boundaries.
I think it's a trait of a bad person or someone of bad character. Because somebody who, family, friend, or otherwise, no matter what they know about you, that shouldn't even be a thought. Like, it doesn't cross my mind. Like, things that I know about you or things that I know about Toya or my sisters, like, it doesn't cross my mind to think like.
But I think we're lucky to have those relationships. I think most people do have an agenda.
I don't feel like that. And and I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm saying I don't feel like that. And it's a shame because I think it's very it may be a cynical way to look at it, and cynical is not necessarily wrong, but it's like, damn, to think that most people, maybe I want to be optimistic and think that most people don't think like that.
I think most people in the world, regardless of the relation, you can add them all in there. Mom, dad, son, daughter, friends, cousins, people, I think more people than not have conditional relationships.
Well, I think we all have conditional relationships because nobody wants to allow themselves to, like, there's conditions. You have to treat me a certain way for this relationship.
Let me finish though. Conditional relationships in a sense where it's like they operate on a sense of what you can do for me. Almost like you can tell a friend, yes, 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 yes. And then the first no, oh, you fronting, or you ain't the same, or they irked about it. And they might still be your friend, but you can tell that no triggered something. And it's like, damn, is it always about what you can do for me? And that can be from a friend, a cousin, a sister, a brother, a mother, a father. Like, you just constantly take or ask, and you never pour into me. You never give to me. You don't think it's more people than not who operate like that?
I don't think it's more people than not. There was something that my dad used to say when we were kids, and I used to think it was so, when I heard him say it all the time, I used to think like, ew, that's so ugly, that's so selfish. He used to always say, I'm sorry, I'm stuttering because I'm trying to make sure I say it right. But almost in the sense of like, if you can't do nothing for me, then what do I need you for? What are you my friend for? And I used to think about that in a monetary sense or like physically doing something. I used to be like, that's such a bad way to think. But as an adult, I realized it is true in the sense that why have people in your life that you don't get anything from?
If you're not useful, you're useless.
So I don't think it's a negative thing to say like, if I can't get nothing from you, whether it's prayer, good conversation, laughs, support, whatever it is.
A meal together,
I don't think that's a negative thing. Now, maybe because I've positioned myself in a sense of not allowing people in my space that are like that. So I haven't had that experience where it's like, give me. Well, I guess in the sense of attention, maybe, or like wanting to be catered to in a sense, but not knowing how to reciprocate that energy.
I don't think it's so in your face. I just think that people operate on a level of, I want to be, like you said, as you get older, you understand, I want to be able to, like, you're my friend for a reason. I might need you. I want to be able to ask you for something and you say yes. Like, I have people around me that I probably know will say yes, because the last thing I want is to reach out to somebody, need something, whether it be monetary, a prayer, whatever, and you're not available or you say no. So you want to have people in your life like that you can grab from, or if you need, that person is there. I remember I asked you before, like, who do you think in your life in a monetary sense would help you? And you was like, my sister and Toya. So it was like, okay, you have people in your life that if they really needed something, you would try to be there for them. If you really needed something, they would be there for you. Mm-hmm. That's a privilege that you speak from. Like, everybody don't have that. Some people are like, nah, like, I have this friend, but I ain't giving them no money. I ain't letting them borrow no money. So I just think like you speak from a privileged standpoint when you say that.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, so I can't. I don't know. I don't feel that most people have an agenda, or most people, and maybe it's because of
maybe it's a little cynical of me, but I don't. Not, and again, not in an overt way. I just think that most people are like, if you can't, like, if you're not useful, you're useless.
But I think that's a good way to be. Like, if I don't want to be around you if I feel like there's nothing I can get from you. Like, when they say you shouldn't be the smartest one in your circle, I strongly, firmly believe that, because then you start to feel drained. You're not around people that can pour into you. Now, I'm not saying everybody has to, everybody may not be on the same level in every aspect. So everybody might not be on the same financial level. Everybody may not be on the same level of intellect. Everybody may not have the same level of spirituality. But at some point, I need to be able, if I'm the one that can feed spiritually, feed intellectually, feed financially, and I'm the only one that's able to give to my circle, and it's like, damn, I'm going to be empty. Who in this circle can pour back into me? So I think that's why it's important to surround yourself with people like that, because if not, then what are you useful? How are you useful to me? I can't get anything out of this. I can't ask you for no sound financial advice. Not even ask you for money. I can't ask you for sound financial advice.
I can't talk to you about
the
things.
Bible.
Yeah.
Like, if I'm having some troubles understanding something, or just need a spiritual boost, I can't really get any good, not that I ask anybody for marital advice, but I can't get any good marital advice or life advice, professional advice. I might be considering another job. I can't talk to you about, that. I can't talk to you how to negotiate my salary, because I might have a job lined up and it's like, damn, are they lowballing me? So I have friends in my life in each of those areas, where some I may never talk to about some of those things, and some I may. I may talk to them about all of those things combined. But if there is nothing that I can get from you, then you gotta think, like, what are we doing this for?
And I don't. That's not a hard line, because sometimes you have a friend that is not on a level that you are, that you may need to pour into, and that you don't get a lot back from. So there's a fine line with that. Let's do 3 grams. Go.
I don't know any grams. I don't know. Yeah.
So what do you think about celebrity school appearances? So when I say that, you know how they might bring what I'm trying to say is, what do you think, and I hope you understand this, what do you think about crossing the line with education and secular? And I'm not saying the kids can't have it, but do we need to bring rappers and entertainers to schools to pique kids' interest, or keep them interested and, excited about things? Because in the news, Sexy Red was turned away from a school because she smelled like weed.
Yeah. So this is the thing. I think you have to meet kids where they are. And that means either with the way you dress, who you have speaking to them. Like, really quick, like one of the events that Crystal asked me to do, my presentation to the kids, instead of just having like some speech written out, each of my slides was like a meme that had a message that was relevant to what I was talking about. But I thought to myself, these kids communicate in memes and like sayings from social media and stuff. So I strongly believe that you have to meet kids where they are. So you got to kind of come down to their level to have that relatability. So if that means bringing in a rapper, bringing in somebody that's popular, bringing in, a social media person that will pique their interest, or whatever, then that's all good. However, and we keep using this word, there does have to be a level of decorum that person knows. And if they don't, that's on them. That's not in the school. Sexy Red is not a person that I think is somebody that should be used in that space. And this may sound,
but she has a story. She has a testimony of where she come from to where she is.
But this is the thing.
She's a mother, so she has a story. She can relate to kids. So
yeah, but she doesn't know. Like, I seen a picture of her at a school where like she had on this crop shirt. Like, it's one of them things, like, you want to be relatable with the kids, but you gotta know it's some line, it's some boundaries. Come looking cute, so with your hair red.
But it
however
might be 50 girls in the crowd in the gym auditorium with crop shirts.
Most schools don't allow that. But even if that's the case, you're an adult and you're there as a professional. So teach them that, and okay, I'm coming in, maybe that is how y'all dress in school, but as a professional, I'm going to talk to y'all, we going to be cool, we going to bust it up, but I can't come in here with my stomach and my titties hanging out because y'all are children and I'm the adult. So
but what's the line though? Because Sexy Red, she's booked. She coming to this high school. She ain't coming to give a TED talk. So she's coming to, and I don't know how to say it, but kind of talk, but turn up a little bit. Like it's a pep rally. Like, so you come in to turn up a little bit, talk to the kids a little bit, but you're not coming for a TED talk. We're not expecting that. No, you're not coming for
a TED talk, but you are coming to get them hype. I'm sure motivate them, let them know I'm from where you from, right, but you can succeed in life. It shouldn't be any cursing, it shouldn't be any twerking, because that's borderline sexual activity. Right. You shaking your ass, you shaking your titties. So I think that's where the line is drawn. Her music shouldn't be played because that's not appropriate for schools. So, I mean, I don't see a problem with bringing celebrities to schools to get the children interested, and they may, it only takes one for her to maybe inspire that may go on and do something great with her life. So I don't think and
obviously it's a paid appearance.
Right. Now she came there smelling like weed. I don't care if she says I wasn't smoking, I was with my homies and they was in the car on the way here. That lets me know your mind is not ready for this level, because like you even know if we're going to one of my work events, okay, I'm not going to smoke around my wife because she's going to a work event and I don't want her smelling like weed. So Sexy Red needs to approach those
out way before we get there.
Sexy Red needs to approach those events like, okay, this is work for me. It's a certain way. Yeah, I'm not coming in here in a business suit, but let me, tighten up a little bit so that I'm not looking provocative in a space with children.
Got you.
That's how I
don't necessarily disagree with that. I just wanted to say, like, she ain't coming for a TED talk, so she coming to kind of turn up a little bit. I don't agree with walking in a school and smelling like bud. And I smoke weed all day, every day, but I'm just saying I don't agree. I agree with my wife. If you're coming in that sense, it is a paid appearance. You probably already got the check. You're coming for the kids to talk to them, get them hyped for whatever is going on, but you can't come in there smelling like trees.
Even if it's volunteer, even if you coming for free, you're coming as a professional.
Yeah. And it looks bad on you because that's going to get around to other schools that may not book you, that probably had you booked. So, it's unprofessional. Yeah. Graham 2, create a holiday. What would you celebrate?
Wow, a holiday. You think of holidays now. I would want to create. Definitely it would be in the summertime.
And I hope you don't say it's like some Juneteenth shit.
That's already created.
I'm just saying, like, nothing like around that.
I would create like a national beach day or something.
Really?
Like
celebrate the beach?
Like not celebrate the beach. Everybody go to the beach. Like that's the day where families, friends, like that's a day where the most people are at the beach ever. Like that, because I would want it to be in the summertime. I would want it to be something outside. I would want it to be something celebratory, fun in the sun. So I would probably like a national beach day. I don't know.
I think I would probably celebrate the working man. So, and the man and woman.
That's Labor Day.
No, but I would be like, if you made it to work 11 months out the year, you get something from the government, a stipend, I don't know, $1,000 check or something, $500, something, for just getting up, going to work every day and doing what you're supposed to do. Some shit like that. Like this, like it's Labor Day, but this is, you get something for your work you've done all year.
Okay.
So I don't know what it would be called, but
you know what? This is I'm
National
cheating.
Workers' Day or some shit. I don't know.
I also think we need to have implemented as a country, like I don't know whether I'm thinking twice a year a mental health day. Like nationally, everybody have off from work. Now, of course, there are some people maybe in every industry, like the hospital, everybody can't have off on that day, but it'll be like, okay, you still get this day and you can take it another time. Mm-hmm. But everybody should have not a sick day, not a PTO day, but 2 mental wellness days. That's what I think.
Last Graham, When dating, is too old really a thing? If you're out here trying to find love and you're really trying to find love, you're not just out here fucking to be fucking, but is too old really a thing?
I think that I think it's like a thing.
So if you 21 years old and you just a man 62 or 65,
like Aoki Simmons.
Yeah, that's where I was going. Like that's too old.
I think it's one of them things
can't
where
happen like that. Oh no, I don't want to bring that up. That was nasty. I was about to say.
I think it really
we all know that.
rings the bell, like red flags. There's some daddy issues, definitely. But for the man, there's some perversion there as well. Like, this child is old enough or young enough to be your granddaughter. It's almost a thing where it's like, she's an adult, so it's legal. But and I don't want to say where's the attraction, because she's a beautiful girl. So as an old man, you're attracted to her. But does it click in your mind like, my child, I'm 40 plus years old, like she can be my grandchild?
That's what men, I've read this before, but men would want to know. I'm asking you, I think I asked you before, what is the age where you cannot look at a 21-year-old? For a man, like where would Tasha say, okay, I have a problem with this, but I don't think I got an opinion about this. Like at what man at 46? Is it my age? Is it 35? Is it 50?
I would say if you're 40, I would say, or 21, 35. I would say over 35.
Over 35, you should not look at a 21-year-old.
Like that's a kid to you.
Okay, I get it. I mean, I think I asked you that before and you didn't answer, but that's a question that men pose somewhere. Like, at what age can't I look at young girls?
Yeah, I mean, because again, it's not illegal, and I mean, you can, if that's your thing, but then it makes you think, why is that your thing? Because mentally, y'all shouldn't be on the same level.
Well, you're not.
Now, she's a Harvard graduate. I'm sure she's very intelligent, but like, sir, you're in your 60s. And for her, it makes me think, now, love can be found in a multitude of ways. Like, we look at when Khalees was messing with Bill Murray, and everybody's like, what? Like, that's not even an age thing, but you look at Bill Murray, and you look at hot-ass Khalees, and you're like, what do she see in him? Maybe they have great conversations. But Aoki and this man... Great
conversation. It's what men always thought their whole lives is, you make her laugh, you can crack her ass.
Okay, making her laugh is conversation, But I'm just saying, with Aoki and this man, what are y'all talking about? What are y'all doing other than, doing the do? But it's like, for her, how maybe she's turned on. Like, you have those people who the sexual arousal doesn't even come from the physical piece. It comes from the mental piece.
Does it work the opposite way? Should a 21-year-old a girl...
a 21-year-old man? Should a
21-year-old girl not look at a 35-year-old man? Is that too old for her? Like, I know the man shouldn't be looking at a 21-year-old, but if you're 21 and you meet a guy that's 35, is that too old for you?
I mean,
because like you said, y'all not on the same level, and is it a double standard, or does it work the same way?
No, it's a double standard, you being younger, because you can want what you want, but he shouldn't give you the time of day.
Right.
I think that 15-year gap is like enough. Because once you're 40 and she's 20, now it's like, okay, you really can be her dad. Mm-hmm. It gets to be a little weird, but
I agree. I think that those kind of relationships are weird to me too. Like, I'm a firm believer in messing with somebody that's your age. Like, I don't understand how guys are 50 and like girls who are 21 or 22. Like, I just don't understand it. But again, whatever. That was it, right?
Yeah.
Act 2 the podcast, episode 170 coming to a close. Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, Podcast Index, Podchaser, Google Podcasts, Player FM, all the platforms you can catch us on. Type us in, pop us up. Wiffle Ball here will have new episodes up on the where she's supposed to. She was supposed to do it last weekend, but we was busy. It'll be upcoming. Again, Act 2 the podcast, episode 170. Your boy International Walk.
Your girl Tacticals with the mostest.
Fuck with us, you fuck with us. If you don't, you should. Peace. Yo.